Welcome back to the continuation of our discussion about freedom. I'm not sure, due to the technical difficulties that we just experienced, you were able to watch the video or not. The short of it is that in this video, this animation, there is a little bird who's caged, and the owner of this bird provides the best amenities for this bird: a bigger cage, a nicer cage, eventually a double-decker cage with beautiful surroundings. However, at the end, this bird feels lonely, isolated, disconnected, and dies. So without freedom, something dies inside of us. Something just loses its power, its energy. So connection with that freedom that we said in the beginning of the program, the only place that this freedom totally exists without any limitations is that energy of divinity, that energy of oneness that we all come from. And I call it joy in these conversations. So when we are connected to joy, freedom is applicable, and we can use our freedom in connection, in alignment with the total vibration of freedom, and we can enjoy that liberty. However, when we are feeling restricted, when we are disconnected from that joyful place of being, so we are suffering from lack of that freedom because we are not connected to that powerful energy. So in turn, we need to be the creator of that sense of freedom. We need to be godly in that sense and create the most amount of freedom within the limitations that we have, and understanding those limitations not as disconnections but as possibilities for regeneration of that freedom inside of us in a way that we can magnify it and we can broadcast it to people around us, including our friends, family, spouses, and so on. Interestingly enough, with this virus of COVID-19 and all the elements that we are all suffering from, which is the isolation, which is the fear of death, among us, and also the meaningfulness or meaninglessness of who we are. Very interestingly enough, we see that how we can apply this freedom in service of these other three. So if death is possible from this virus, through limitations that we create, we are prolonging our lives. And that we have that freedom of connecting this resource or this problematic source to the rest of our life in a way that we can prolong our lives by prevention, by wearing our mask, by staying away from each other to a certain number of feet, and all these other sanitations that we can do for ourselves and we have access to. So the death becomes an issue that we would like to deal with in a free way to avoid that danger. Then the issue of isolation, which again, we're forced to be in certain confinements. Hopefully it will end at some time soon and we go back to the higher degree of freedom. But even from the confinements of where we are, we have certain freedom of expression, certain freedom for connection and being with each other, which leads us to that meaninglessness. So in order to avoid that meaninglessness, you can see how people are becoming creative, including just you and I. We're just sitting here in a program that it wasn't necessarily the way that we are doing it today, but now we are confined to certain limitations, but yet we are expressing ourselves in the best possible way, connecting with each other. I'm connecting with you and I'm enjoying this connection in the format of finding a meaning or purpose or identity to what I do in my life. So you see that freedom is always possible to be kept in different situations. Now, as I said from the beginning, the precursor for doing and applying all of this is maintaining a certain sense of balance or normal way of being in our lives. So as you have heard from me several times, Wheel of Well-Being is the center for creating that balance. And through everything that we bring to you, you are learning, you are practicing the ways that you can apply this freedom of choice into creating balance in your lives. And those areas of physical, mental, emotional, relational, recreational, environmental, spiritual, and financial, in all of those areas, we have provided certain practices, certain understanding, certain concepts that you can utilize in our programs at wheelofwellbeing.com. There is a quiz, there is a test that you can be taking and figuring out what sort of tools you need, in what areas you need to pay more attention or apply your freedom of choice to select, to emphasize on these areas, to create more possibilities and potential in these areas. Wheel of Wellbeing has a program for you called Wheel Select, and through that Wheel Select, you have many of these practices, including my book, Balancing the Wheel, with practical exercises and thoughts and ways of being that are in detail helping you to create that balance. I'm at your service. My wife, Coach Bonnie, and myself, Dr. Sadiq, Dr. D, we are all here to support anyone that would like to apply their freedom of choice to be better, happier, and more connected with joy. If you like this program or you would like to have any particular topics discussed, please be in touch with me directly at Dr. or drdsAdigh@gmail.com. drdsAdigh@gmail.com. We will be playing the video one more time at the end of this program. So if you like to see it again, the animation, you're welcome to look at it after I stop. For now, I will say goodbye to you until our next program. I wish you a free living filled with choices that you can make for yourself to make your lives better. Have a beautiful day.
There comes a time in the mating cycle of humans when the need to impress is replaced by a period they call